Hey Void, how you doing? So, now that I'm done with my forever watch of Crystal Lake Memories, 6 hours worth of it, 6.5 really, I moved on to something else. Now, Shutter was kind of being a pain in the ass today as I was trying to watch. It seemed to keep having to, it seemed to lose itself and have to be refreshed pretty constantly, so I had a heck of a time watching this one, but I don't think that colored my view of it. I think Shudder was updating their library at the time, and it kept causing minor interruptions in my connection. Anyway, so the next one in my trek through the annals of Shudder is Dearest Sister, a Laos horror film, which I've never seen a movie in the Lao language before, so that was interesting. This one came out in 2016. It has its original title. I don't speak Lao, so bear with me on this. Is Nong Hak. I think that's how it's pronounced. I apologize to any Lao speakers. And this movie was interesting and had a lot going for it. I was kind of interested in what was going on here, but there are certain parts that did detract from my overall enjoyment of the film. So, this one follows a young girl named Nok, who leaves her family to go to the big city to work for her cousin Anna, who's then in order to raise some money because they're very poor. Now, Anna is married to a European man. They don't really say where he's from, but he has sort of a French accent, but at the same time, one of the spoken languages in this film is Estonia, so maybe that's it? I'm not sure. Anyway, now the thing with Anna is she is losing her sight. She can barely see a thing, and everything is just very blurry, and if something's not right in front of her, she can't see it. So she needs some help, but isn't too keen on her cousin Nok coming to help because she doesn't even know her cousin, doesn't even know how they're related. So, also, the servants she already has keep seeming to mess with her and are not very good servants. Now, a side effect of her losing her sight is she sees dead people. Or people about to die. It's kind of unclear. Pardon me. So, she keeps getting visions. Usually, it turns out it's people usually before their death, and one of the things that they keep telling her, and she keeps repeating, is a series of numbers. Now, Nok overhears this and uses those numbers to play the lottery, and hey, starts making money. And she keeps paying attention to Anna's supernatural encounters, and slowly befriends Anna, and they become close, becoming like sisters, hence the title Dearest Sister. Until everything utterly falls apart, mostly due to Nok's greed, the servants being bitchy, and Anna being not very tolerant of many things and very standoffish in general. And her husband, and I want to say Jacob, but it's Jakob, is also shady as hell. So with the exception of Kenji, the business associate of Jakob, everyone in this movie is terrible, and that's the problem I'm having with it. The gore effects are very minimal, but they're cool when they're there. The ghosts are neat. And the whole classism era where then, and dealing with that, with the ghosts, and particularly the turn that Nok has when she actually goes full villain partway through and imprisons Anna to try to encourage her to get her more numbers, was interesting. But I didn't know who I should be rooting for because everyone is terrible, and that made this film very hard to relate to. Nok seems okay at first, but she's a gold digger, which is fine, but she also keeps not sending money back to her parents. And, like, she first steals money, right, point blank from the family, gets in trouble for that. but then somehow starts ingratiating herself more, only to betray their trust to buy very nice things for her, and using Anna's supernatural encounters to win the lottery, and she just keeps spending it on herself. She keeps not sending any money home, but at the same time, her parents are claiming that they don't have any money, but at some point later they also throw a party. So it's unclear if her parents actually, how badly they really need the funds. So they might have just sent her there. So her parents may be terrible. Well, that's a little unclear, but Nock, she's betrays her family for little gain, and then she goes full villain and imprisoning Nock and imprisoning Anna and very much threatening her, and then continues to rearrange all the furniture to further confuse and disorient her. I mean, to be fair, Anna had already pretty much nearly thrown her out at that point, penniless, but she did it to herself by pretty much technically, like, some of those funds should have gone to the family because Anna's mother died and her ghost gave her some of those lottery numbers, and her father wanted to play those numbers in the lottery. But Nock pretty much ended up stealing that from him. So they couldn't really even properly afford the burial. So Anna, at the same time, is very elitist. Her friend's terrible. And at the beginning is kind of a bitch to Nock. And also, once Nock does have some issues, and some of them weren't as bad, she just utterly rejects her and sends her away. I can understand why, but she's still she's very intolerant of a lot of things, which makes her hard to sympathize with, even though I think we're supposed to. Yakov is running a shady company and wants to bribe government officials, which sounds bad. And the maid and gardener are stealing and from both Nock and the family, and to keep essentially starting to blackmail Nock, so they're terrible. Everyone in this movie is terrible. So that makes it very hard to relate to. One character, Kenji, is the only person who does anything decent in this film, and he's the one who pretty much refuses to go along with Yakov's schemes to lie to bribe government officials. And he also bails Nock out when she's about to unknowingly get involved with Americans in a very sketchy a sketchy situation. He escorts her home and then denies her own advances just to protect her. So Kenji's a good guy. Everyone else in this movie is terrible. And Kenji's barely in it, so you can't even really root for him. So there's good atmosphere. The story is interesting. But with no character you can really grab onto, it sinks it. So, as much as it was interesting seeing a film from Laos, I've never seen one before, I can only give this one 4 MacGuffins. And I wanted to rate it much higher. I love Asian horror films. This one didn't quite do it for me. Oh, that's really all I got on this one. It's a slow burn, moody drama with some horror elements. The drama is interesting, but you can't sympathize with the characters, and that's the big problem. Alright, that's all on Dearest Sister, Nong Hak, 2016. It's, I believe, exclusive to Shudder right now. But, yeah. That's all I got on that one. Should be seeing us something again tonight, so see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.